Today on In the Wood Yard, we're moving logs with the tractor. Bo is here. We're gonna move logs that way. Does that sound like fun?
Yeah.
Let's get going. So there's the log pile. This is the load of oak that I just got in from John a few days ago. And I want to migrate it down there. This is as far as he could stick it with the truck because he couldn't get any far closer than this. So what I'm gonna do is we put the grapple on just now. That was fun, wasn't it? It was not easy to get on because it was cold and didn't want to go on, but we got it on. And I'm gonna move logs from this pile down over here, and what we're gonna do is set them in a pile. We're gonna do like, I don't know, maybe a dozen at a time. Set them like right over here, and then we're gonna cut them up right in this area, and that way I can stack them right over here too, so, because we got some open space. I'm gonna migrate everything that way. So that's the plan, so here we go. So there, I moved some oak over here, and you saw I pulled out, oh, there's a piece of hickory right here. I missed. How could I do that? It's a little guy. See, I pulled the hickory out and put it over in the hickory pile, and it's gonna start cutting on this right now, and then Bo's gonna go over and he's gonna start splitting while I do some cutting over here. So he just did some filming for me, so it was kind of nice. So look at that, lumberjack. So he's just taking it over to the hickory pile because we want to keep them separate. And there's a whole bunch of hickory that I didn't even know was in this pile. I knew there was a little bit, but as I started digging, I can see down in here now into this oak pile that's here. Right here, this one right here is hickory. This one here is hickory. This one right here is hickory. There's two more. If you look in the crack, there's one right there, and the one behind it, this hickory, you can see down in there. There's a hickory right up there. There's a hickory right there. There's one right there. So that's good, because I want hickory, because it's hard to get, hard to come by. So I'm gonna start cutting. Bo's gonna start splitting. He's a working man doing work. I'm gonna head over here. I'm gonna start the saws up, and I'm going to cut up that bunch of oak that I just moved and make the logs into small pieces of wood. So I figure there's no sense in him standing around watching me while I cut, because what I did is I put all the pieces in this corner here, all the logs I put into the corner, and by doing that I'll be able to just leave them lay right here, because then I'll just bring more logs. And so I want to do eventually is split them all right here, and we're going to start stacking right up against there and bring the rows this direction. So kind of want the logs to be over here, so that's what's going to happen. Cutting time. That is one tank down. Bow's splitting way over there. I don't know if you can see a little speck over there. And so this is about a full cord. That's about what I can cut with one tank if I can stay right on it. I can usually do about a full cord per tank, give or take a little. So now I'm gonna cut the rest of this up with the second saw, and then I'm gonna move some more logs over here and keep going. So there's Bo splitting wood like a maniac. He's been gone for like, I don't know, hour and a half to almost 2 hours. Maybe he's almost done with the ash over there. And I, on the other hand, have been trying to be a maintenance guy. I had a little difficulty. I noticed that my hoses were getting a little bit chafed because they were right up here where this thing rubs, where the top claw tips back, and it was kind of rubbing. It wasn't getting pinched, but it was just getting rubbed. So I moved the hoses out of the inside on the outside here, and I noticed this bolt was missing a nut on this end. So what I just started to do, I'm just driving it out because I can't take it off because it's got Loctite on this end, and I cannot figure out on the other end how it would have came off because they got this stop here so the nut can't turn. It welded right on there, so I don't know how in the world that nut vibrated off because it can't turn it all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive it all the way out, turn it around, drive it through this side because this side is Loctite on. I can't get it off because there's nothing to, you know, free it up with. So I'm going to pull it all the way out, turn it around, shove it through this way, and then screw in from this side and put Loctite on the other end, which is inside the shaft right now. So that's all I'm attempting to do now. I looked all over for the nut. I couldn't find one. So I went to the hardware store and I just found a 1-inch nut that fits fine that I'm going to put on, and I'll Loctite it on. So it's got to be here somewhere. I don't know if I lost it today or a long time ago, but there it is. 1-inch nut. So, and it's not the right kind, but that's what they had, so it should work. I'm going to put it on. So I've got a rod, and I'm going to pound it through with the hammer. I'm worried though there's going to be pressure on here that something's bad's going to happen when I get it out. I tried to loosen up all of the, doesn't seem to be shifting. I'm gonna go loosen up the controls again and run the hydraulics, just kind of make sure everything is, the splitter just shut off. Hey, Bo, come on over here and hold this thing for me once. Yeah, it's, yeah. I think if he holds this up here, I should be able to get that out a lot easier, and I won't. I'm gonna have to try to center that somehow. I might have to disconnect the hoses and take all the pressure off, but I think that should work. Yeah. I need you to go over there and just hold on to this. I don't want it to fall out and get full of mud and crap. Just so like this. Yeah, I'm gonna lift this up here. Actually, come over here on this side. So use your right hand to lift here and then hold on to that. And I'm gonna lift also. We're just gonna tap it out. It should come right out. Here we go. Okay, then we're you stick it right back in this hole. Although, nope, all the way over here. Stick it through there. We're gonna switch sides with it. There you go. So we got to try to get it in the hole. We might have to go up or down with this. I'm not sure. Let's see.
There we go. Got it.
Is it starting? Okay. Yeah, I got to put this thing over here. I should be able to tap it in from this side now. Here we go. Okay, you can let go now. So look, see how this has got this keeper bar here, yeah, so it can't turn? So how in the heck did that spin out?
Well, probably
because this was up tight. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, but I can't take it off because it's got Loctite on this end. So I'm gonna shove it through and put the new bolt on, a nut on this side on the bolt, and it should work. So I have to lift it up again, just kind of. That's the deal here. You can see it right there. There we go. See how that keeper goes on right there?
Yep.
And I don't know how that would have vibrated off this end. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, there's not too much of an overlap. It's not even like a...
No, but look.
Oh.
See? Now it's in tight. So how would that have spun off?
Oh, then maybe it just wasn't on there to begin with.
Yeah, maybe there was never one on there and I never noticed. I don't know. So now I gotta clean this up, get all the grease off, and get it all cleaned up, dry, and then I'll put Loctite and put the new nut on. So that's good. We should be good now. So we got it spun around, and I got it sticking out here. I just cannot figure out how that would have vibrated off with that keeper bar on there. I'm sure there's a different name for it, but that's what I'm calling it. It's, to stop it from coming out. I have no idea how that could have happened. I could see this end vibrating out, but not the other end. It just doesn't make any sense. And it had to have been on there. This is just a nasty mess here. I got to get all the threads cleaned from grease here. So I went and got the wire brush. I got some new paper toweling that's not full of grease. And I should be able to get this cleaned out now. Tell me if I'm nuts, but this is how I've always done it. Take the wire brush and just ram it into the grooves with the paper toweling, and it tends to clean it out pretty good, I think. So I don't know if there's a different way, but that's how I usually have cleaned off the grooves or the threads on a nut before. It seems to get them pretty darn good. There, that's the dirty one. Now I'm going to use a clean one. So I want it to not come off, obviously. Seems to be getting nice and clean, just like the doctor ordered. Here we go. That looks pretty. Okay, now I got some blue Loctite because I don't want it to be permanent, but I want it to be strong. So I got well, it's not even Loctite. This is thread locker. They didn't have any Loctite. Okay, so I cut the end off of the Loctite-like substance, and I clean up the nut now. That's pretty greasy on the inside also. So hopefully I can get this where it's gonna behave. And I know this isn't the correct nut, but that's the size they had. I think these are supposed to be lock nuts. But we'll put this one on, and I'll just keep an eye on it. If it doesn't work, then I'll get one of those. But at least I can maybe get some work done today if I can get this on. So I want to make sure we're good. Yeah, it should work. Okay, now I'll put some magic blue juice on everything here. Ooh, Bo's doing major splitting. I hear wood being cracked and popped and snapped over there. Here we go. The magic juice is upon the threads. Make sure it's getting everywhere. There we go. Now I just got to tighten that up a smidge. In case you want to know how much a smidge is, it's a little bit more than a... Oh, that's not the right wrench. A smidge is a little bit more than a titch, as my brother Kenny would say. He says everything's just a titch more. And I know this isn't supposed to be tightened down right to the edge. You're supposed to leave a little space because I can see there's space on these here so that it's not rubbing. But this should do it. A little more. That should do it. There we go. Fixed. Now I can go back to work, hopefully. didn't we have it broken? Like I knocked a little bit of stuff over there. Well, that's an ugly pickup. Oh well. That's enough of that foolishness. Just greasy. Oh.
Yeah, it's wet out here.
Yeah. There. I was just starting to get the hang of it at the end there. It's one of those things, unless you do it a lot, you're not good at it, and I'm not that good at it. But it sure is fun, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it is.
I just wish it wasn't greasy like that. I'm just tearing the snot out of everything. I got all the hickory that I could pull from there. I pulled out a whole bunch more. It's probably a whole nother full cord that I pulled out of there, and there's still some more in there, so that should be cool. Now I can get back to cutting. And I think what we're gonna do is, instead, because I'm gonna cut right there and just leave it there, we're gonna move the splitter down to that cherry, and you can split on the cherry, which is awesomeness, because it's like splitting candy.
Okay.
Here I am, folks, high above Mount Oak. I'm on my log pile. Just came up here to take a peek around. I moved a bunch more hickory over there from this pile, and I was just looking up here, and I can see there's a chunk down there of hickory. There's 2 of them right there. And then down under here, I saw there was a couple more, so there's still, oh, there's one right there I can see. And right there's one. So there's 2 more right here. So there's quite a bit of hickory in here that John didn't separate out, which is okay. Ooh, see if I can do this without dying. These logs are kind of sketchy here. This is something you should never do, children. Don't walk on log piles unless you're a highly skilled expert, which is not me. So anyway, the logs were way out to here, so we ate into this whole bunch. And it's all over here what we got cut up today. Everything turned into a sloppy, messy, mucky pigsty here because everything's melting. It's about 45 degrees right now. This morning it was about 30, so it warmed up a lot. It's really nice, no wind. So I got all this cut up, and I cut, I think, not quite 3 tanks. It was probably 2.5 or so. And then you saw we backed the splitter right up in here because I'm going to start splitting right up in here because I want to get this oak done as soon as possible so that it can dry as long as possible. Because hopefully this will be ready by like the end of next winter because there's a lot of green stuff in here. So I'm going to split it down fairly small, and I'm putting it in about the best spot possible. I'm going to put it right along the edge over there and then out in here so it'll get full wind, full sun all the time. So that's a good thing. I'm going to take you over and show you what Bo got done today because my plan was that I was going to have him chuck rounds while I cut today. Well, it was such a tight space, and I kind of put the logs right where I wanted them to be as far as where they're going to end up being stacked. So I thought, you know, I'll just have him split. So here's the other side of the pile. Yeah, so I can see there's a piece of hickory right there. I just saw another one. So there's all kinds of it in there. So here's the hickory pile over here. I've been separating that out. So I added a whole bunch more on this end today. So probably a whole nother full cord. And then over here on the other side of the pigsty, which is what it's turning into, all this mud here. I can't wait to get gravel in here and get this improved. Bo split that whole load that I got yesterday. So actually it was a full trailer load full and a full pickup load full. So he split at least 4 face cords today of ash right here. And then I had him come over here and he split the stuff that was in here. This was all maple. Well, there's a little bit left there, I see. But this was all maple that was in with this cherry. And then right here, this is also all hickory too. So I had him separate them as we were going. And so that's what he got done. He's gonna be coming back next week, hopefully, and we can get some more production done on a day like today. So tomorrow you are going to want to come back because tomorrow Tony and I are going to one of your woods. Yes, there's somebody that watches the channel that's not too far from here that has a whole bunch of woods and he wants it cut. So we're going to go take a look at it and kind of do a little reconnaissance, so to speak. And then we're going to go do a couple other things. But apparently it's quite a bit of woods with a lot of dead oaks, and there's also some other trees that he wants cut down too, and apparently it's a lot. So we're going to go look at it and kind of scope it out and kind of make a plan for how we're going to attack it tomorrow. That is the plan. So tomorrow you should come back. It'll be fun. Between now and then, do some poking to some buttons and get outside and get cutting. Good night, Irene.